In this video, I'll show you how to solve the DISKO 2 CTF challenge on picoCTF. So the challenge is, the description is, can you find the flag in this disk image? The right one is Linux, one wrong step is and it's all gone. And the disk image is here, and the hint is, how can you extract/isolate a partition? So this challenge you can actually solve on the picoCTF web shell, so I'll do that here. Let's copy the link. And let's cd to tmp because that's where it wants you to put disks. If you're doing it on your own Linux environment, you don't have to do that. You can just put it in whatever folder you want. So let's do wget, and let's get that. And since it's a .gz file, I'll use gunzip on it to extract the contents. So let's wait for that. And gunzip disco2.dd. And there it is. So the first thing I'd like to do is simply use mmls from the Sleuth Kit, and it's basically going to show you the different partitions of the disk. And we can see that there's a Linux partition and a FAT32 partition. And based on the description of the challenge, it says the right one is Linux. So we will be focusing our search on the Linux partition. So one thing I'd like to do before doing any advanced procedure is basically just running strings and grep onto the disk. So I'm going to strings that and then just grep for the flag. And as you can see, there's a lot of flags. If you want at this step, it is possible to try every single flag and just brute force your way to the correct flag, because one of these will work. But let's actually try to find which flag is the correct one without brute forcing it. So based on the hint, it says, how can you extract and isolate a partition? And to do that, you would use the dd command. And it's basically gonna, using this command, we can extract the Linux partition by itself, and we can look at it more in depth there. So let me just bring this back up, and dd. And then you can do if equals, and then you put the name of the disk, and then of, which is basically the output file. And I'll just name it like linuxPartition.img. And then you would put in the block size, which is 512, seen here. So 512, and then skip, which is the number of blocks to skip. So in this case, it's basically the start. So 2048. And then we would finally put count, which is how many blocks you would want to include in the copy of the disk, and that's basically the length. So 512 zeros. And there we go. We got the partition out. So the one rule of thumb I like to follow is, before doing any advanced techniques such as mounting the disk, I always just like to do a simple string and grep. So strings Linux partition, and then let's see if we can find the flag. So grep and picoC, and here's a flag. Let's check it out, and it worked. So that's how you find the flag for this challenge. If you did attempt to mount the disk, I'm pretty sure it'll just be a lot harder to find the flag, because I'm pretty sure it's in an unallocated spot in the disk. And this FAT32 disk partition is practically just a giant red herring, because if we did attempt to open it up, so let's say if equals DISKO2 out equals FAT32 that image, let's say partition, and then we can just copy the skip bs equals 512 skip, and then it'll be this, and then count equals this. So you can just kind of see, if we were to strings that, 2 grep picoC, we will see that's where most of the red herrings came from. And yeah, so that's basically how to solve the DISKO 2 CTF challenge. And if this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.